So Melbourne United just took game one after a Chris Goulding masterclass in the third quarter that absolutely took over the game after the Wildcats looked like they were getting ahead. This was actually a fun game. Like, it was pretty close for most of the game until Chris Goulding in the third quarter absolutely popped off, and in the last 13 minutes of the game, scoring most of his points. He was 1 from 6 before this, and then just halfway through the third, got 1-3, then got another, then he ends up with 10 by the end of the game, which is insane. Like, he was actually kind of struggling in the first half. He even was throwing a tantrum and left the court after getting fouled, which he was fouled. He deserved that foul. But to come back and like get his head on right and absolutely pop off is incredible. It just shows like the veteran mentality that like even if he's frustrated, he can go out and do his thing. And he 100% won Melbourne United that game because Perth was starting to actually get ahead a little bit, and then he started coming back around and really saved Melbourne, really gave them that offensive punch that they really lack sometimes. And if you're a Perth fan, the grain of salt to take away from this is you can't expect him to make 10 threes every single game. So that's one positive, I guess. So like you can come home into your home game and take it back. Like there is 100%, like there is a good chance that you do make it 1-1. If you contain Chris Goulding, you don't let anybody else get absolutely red hot like he was. And Shea Illy, like the first half, he did a decent job, like as good a job as you could ask for him to do. He kind of held Bryce Cotton down. He ended up the game with 22 points, but that's just Bryce being Bryce. And Melbourne also just helped contain like Keanu Pinder, not letting him get hot as well, because he's somebody, if he gets 30 points, he's hard to stop. Melbourne's size has been a bit of a question mark going into this, like their defensive size. Like Marcus Lee is always good, but he's coming off the bench, he's not starting. Where you have Keanu Pinder there a lot more minutes than what Marcus Lee usually is. And it is usually that spot where Melbourne do have a bit of a weakness where teams tend to exploit, but they did help contain him pretty well for what they could do. Jack White just being Jack White as well. So it was a good game one. Melbourne do have the potential to sweep. Like there is a chance that they do. Perth do have a chance to come back. Like this didn't seem like a definitive win-loss. It still seems very open to who could win the series. But yeah, people continue to question Melbourne's age. You just had like 36-year-old dropping 41 points. That's insane. Like he's Steph Curry right now. It's good on you, Chris Goulding. You're doing what you need to do. And that's arguably being Australia's greatest three-point shooter next to Andrew Gaze. But yeah, who's going to win game two, Perth or Melbourne? It is in Perth. I did get that mixed up last video, but you know what? It's all good.